as Raw sort of goes home, if you like, and sets the stage for the pay-per-view to come tonight. Loving the chat room tonight. Thank you for all the people participating. Check out justin.tv/WrestleDope. Every Sunday now at 8 p.m. GMT, that's BST. It's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 12 p.m. Pacific. Hopefully all those calculations are right. And indeed, if you're not here for the show, checking it out live, you can check it out on youtube.com/TheWrestleDope. Now, Shawn Michaels, he defeated Kane. As we said, you got to go through Kane before you get to The Undertaker. Fairly standard match. Shawn Michaels, as always, working incredible, but then he always does. Kane, more of the same. McMahon confronting Bret Hart and saying that, well, what could he say? One way or another, Vince telling Bret that he will be screwed.
Yep, Vince really driving the point home for the last run before the hit tonight, and a good little build and a nice little finish up on the heat between the two going into Mania. So yeah, I like that segment. It was cool.
Do you think that they will even dare and try and do a screw job angle again? I mean, are they going to have that referee told to ring the bell, and are we going to see a retread of that situation, or are they going to leave it all happy and let everybody sort of get along? Somehow I doubt that, right?
You just never know in the wrestling business, do you? I think that's what's going to be quite interesting. If it's WWE, I think it'll be safe pickings. I think Bret will probably go over clean, and that'll be that.
Yes, indeed. We're going to have to see what happens, and, you know, we could talk about it endlessly, but certainly come back tonight for the post-show where we'll have all our opinions fully ready and locked and loaded. Now, John Cena brawled with Batista in their stage-setting event for that big match for the WWE Championship. The Animal, surrounded by bodyguards, he kicked off the trash talking by describing how he's intimidated, and indeed he has apparently gotten inside the head of his opponent. I don't know if the Iron Man, the Superman if you like, and certainly it's not something I like, but Cena's always put over. What are Batista's chances tonight?
Good, real good. I think he has got inside the head of Mr. Cena, and I think Batista is going to go over in this one and retain that title. I hope to God he does anyway.
Yes, indeed. It's Wrestlemania night, and glad to have you here on Justin. WWE Raw last Monday night was good. Great to see it going home, and along comes Wrestlemania, and hopefully we'll all be entertained tonight. Now we're going to move on to the WWE NXT. And indeed, this week's episode continuing with a fine pace, keeping those new stars on the TV. And indeed, Darren Young and David Otunga, they defeated Michael Tarver and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, good little match. The tit for tat over and back with the wins is clocking up nicely on both sides. I think Daniel Bryan really displaying his how good his submission moves are, and how good a wrestler he is in such a short space of time. The only one probably worth mentioning in that whole match, I'm not down with David Otunga. I think he has a lot to prove. Michael Tarver gimmick is lost in there somewhere, and Darren Young probably the other one who's not too bad, and the other one who's shining a little bit, especially with the Straight Edge Society buzz surrounds him. And yeah, Daniel Bryan was probably the most impressive in that whole outing.
Daniel Bryan is looking better and better every week, and it's fantastic to see a guy like that get recognised on the big stage. You know, a little bit questionable when you see him thrown in there with Khali, but we gotta take the good with the bad. I mean, certainly getting him on TV in the first place is a big step for the man who's prominently known from Ring of Honor, I would say. And I say a lot of Ring of Honor fans kind of didn't really like that Khali segment a week or two ago on NXT. But Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, they defeated Skip Sheffield and Wade Barrett. A lot going on in FCW between Justin Gabriel and Wade Barrett. Maybe that's how they're going to progress in the future. Perhaps we're going to see Gabriel, who I think is a bit of a young Rick Martel, going up against Wade Barrett, the tough Englishman. And indeed, a bit of a loss problem for one of the guys there.
Yeah, Skip Sheffield. Poor Skip, 3 losses. And it's not going to look good for next week's evaluation show. I don't want to see Skip get lost in this mix. And he needs to shine. He needs to shine. We need to get Skip over onto SmackDown and turn things up a notch, because we need some entertainment, and he's a funny guy. And Heath Slater, the one-man rock band, you know, impressive, but he's no Skip Sheffield, and why he gets put over above Skip is beyond me. So unfortunate to see Skip losing once again in that matchup.
Skip Sheffield, a great performer, at least in look terms. From what I've seen of him wrestle, maybe he's your standard big man, but he needs a bit of time, and certainly you can't kind of criticize the guys on NXT at this stage. They're so new to the game. They've just made it to TV in terms of the big stage, and certainly going to give that guy plenty of time, because he's quite a funny character. Now, I know there's something to be said when people kind of say that comedy baby faces, or at least comedian baby faces and comedian heels, that they don't draw a dime. But certainly in terms of entertainment, and indeed that's what Vince says the program's all about now, he doesn't think it's about pro wrestling anymore, in his own words. But if we saw more entertainers, perhaps they would draw more, because we've been more used to seeing them.
Yeah, it's true. It's like you're going to have your big monster heels and your big baby faces and the face of the company like Cena and stuff, but somewhere in the mix you're going to need some bit of comedy, and it kind of goes for any show really. If you look at any soap on TV, it's the same thing. You're going to have your real bad guys who might pull off a murder, and then you'll have your comedy couples or whatever that just do their same thing week in and week out. And it's the same goes for any sort of show that's on, from Raw to Impact. You know, those people have their place and they play their game, and the typical example there is Santino, who that's his spot, and he's safe there. But I think Skip could get in on that action. Be pretty funny.
Loved seeing Skip Sheffield with those shoot trousers. He's got shoot written on the trousers. I know he probably means that in maybe sort of a vernacular kind of a language way, but I'd like to think that he's saying that he is a shoot, literally, but maybe they're not that clever. But the biggest WWE NXT episode to date is going to air next week in the Pros Poll. The Pros will reveal the standings, and the WWE Universe is going to learn which rookie is one step closer to becoming the next big Raw superstar. The pros are going to vote for their favourite rookies.
Yeah, next week's show is going to be very interesting, and funny how they picked Raw as the brand for the NXT rookie to jump up to. But yeah, I'm sure they have to be. I mean, it's the big one. It's the A show. I think we all know that at this stage, and it will give them a chance to shine.
Now, they're going to be judging those rookies on 4 factors. Now, this kind of seems like work territory, but apparently win-loss record is going to be one of the factors. And also, it looks like they're also going to be judging on strength of opponents, work ethic, and the it factor. I think Skip Sheffield has that it factor. Justin Gabriel has that it factor as well. Any others?
I think Wade Barrett could be a really good heel, and has the kind of William Regal, when he was Lord Regal back in the days, kind of buzz going on some bit. But I mean, that gimmick didn't really get over too well back then, and I don't think it probably would now. But I like the bare knuckle fighter and the hard Englishman from Manchester buzz, and I think it would be good. And I wonder how the pros will see them at the end of the day, and I suppose what rookie is really going to cut the mustard for NXT.
This week's SmackDown?
Nothing really to report there. I mean, the Money in the Bank. You got the exhibition of all 10 guys in that tag match. Everyone's in the fold, and a little bit of a taste of what to expect tonight. And I have to say, some of the people in there, just why Matt Hardy and why R-Truth?